Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Scroll Podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm a disgusted miser.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's true.
And today we are going to be going over CYST from Jamzilla, 𝗖𝗬𝗦𝗧. This is an ultra light world building game. I mean, when I say ultra light, I mean
it's as light as it could be.
No, there really isn't much less there could be, and yet it's awesome. I think there's a lot of people in the space that are like, these are some of my favorite zines. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, very, very vibey, very graphic design core,
If I remember correctly, because at some point I did, in fact, listen to their interview on The Lost Bay. I believe they're in school for graphic design, and if I'm completely wrong, fuck me. But that is a thing. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a minute, and I'm fixing some stuff, so let's see if it all worked. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I mean, realistically, let's just hop in. Let's look at it. There's not a whole lot to say. This is, once again, 𝗖𝗬𝗦𝗧. This is CYST. As far as I know, CYST came out in either late 2021 or early 2022. One of the things I really do love about CYST is that they tag the date on a lot of their stuff. So I remember what came out in 2022 and what came out in 2023. Love that. Mm-hmm. And also, most of the work is a very collage style, like paper cutout that is then scanned in, which is so fucking cool. I think one of the other people that does a similar style to that, but not so much in the same way as like zine making stuff like that, is, I'm gonna completely mess it up. It's either Gardens and Goblins or Goblins and Gardens. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
Yeah, Goblins and Gardens.
Goblins and Gardens.
They do,
yeah.
like,
I've seen their tarot deck, I think. Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, really, really cool stuff where they mix like garden books with like old D&D stuff, and it just looks really, really fantastic. So similar kind of like collage style that reminds me of that a bit. Yeah. So let's show it off to the people. It's gonna be a long one.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it through this one tonight. So
I know, right? This book is, whew, let me tell you what. So also, first and foremost, there's two versions of CYST. The first version of CYST that I ever got was this one right here. This is just a like watercolor. Well, let's show the people.
Why don't you show us, Ryan?
Let me do that. I'm gonna do that real quick here. Boom. So this
if you
is
are
the
listening,
first.
Ryan is opening the first one, the older version of CYST.
That's what I did. Yeah. So if those in podcast world, that's where we're at. Let me get the mic. Yeah, mic, get closer to me. There you go. We haven't done this in a minute, and I'm tired, so we apologize, or I do at least, for.
I don't apologize.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck you guys. But thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Now.
So we're just going to flip through this, and then we'll actually go through the more recent version of CYST, and then we're actually going to flip through. We don't do adventures here on the show, but we will this time, mostly just to show them off. So
I mean, also there's like 15, so if we go through one, it's like you still have 14 other ones if you want to go buy it and run it,
We want to talk about the so this is my CYST collection here.
Out of context, saying this is my CYST collection,
for those that know, that's interesting too. What do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the zines.
Ryan's
well, if you count doubles,
so
11 CYST plus the map, and I think, gosh, these big pagers, like 4 or 5 of those. Oh, remind me to show off the boxes at the end too. So CYST. CYST is a game. This is the original version. It was just on this kind of like rainbowish, kind of like, how do you describe this? Almost like spray painty background.
There is some kind of like weird stippling effect, like you're
like pixelated,
like from a printer. like the color dot where it's just like thousands of like little dot. Like, I mean, it is stippling. Yeah, something like that's going on. There's things.
Yeah, there's stuff and things, right? So then, this is the CYST revised version that came out that fits way more into what I envision as Jamzilla style.
Yeah, it really matches the vibe a lot more.
So I think it still ties in the original one in that. So when you look at it, it's definitely like, as we said, most of the art looks like cutouts. They're from like magazines or books or things like that. So in this one, there is a, it looks like a cliffside castle. And then it's got CYST big and yellow over like the bottom half the front cover. And then the sky is like a pink, yellow, blue kind of gradient that is very reminiscent of the original cover. Like the original cover
absolutely it keeps the kind of same
pink,
color.
Yellow, blue.
Yeah, the color themes are very similar. It just has the imagery. I actually really like digital collage and like actual like collage work. I think it's like a very fun art style that you can bring a lot of like reference. Like it's very referential. But I do also love really seeing it in the tabletop community where it's all this like recycled old like dungeon-esque art with these high color backgrounds or like pieces of image pasted within it or over it. Yeah, it's a beautiful. I mean, how many pages is this? Like 10?
Yeah, it's very. I mean, it's very, very, very small.
It's 10 beautiful pages. You know.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and that's why and there's so much of it. That's why we're going to go over more than just the game. So the original cover does keep a lot of the original vibe, as in it's the same. I think it might even just be the exact same piece of art even. It is. So if you actually look at the two covers, you can see in the top there's like a little splotch of like yellow that's exactly the same. It's just darkened up, unpixelated, and just vibed out like crazy. But again, if you look at in spreads how it wraps around, the original CYST is just that with CYST on it and black on the side. But compare it to this one where it's not, I know the cover is that castle, but the back continues to go all the way around.
Yeah.
That's the Jamzilla style, and it says Jamzilla 2022 on the back, which is obviously we said before they tag it. So going forward from here, that's pretty much where the outside the words that the layout it ends as far as this, because the other one has no pictures in it at all. This one, bam, right off the bat, another castle, dragon, red backward sky, everything. Vibes on this are going to be through the roof, obviously.
Yeah.
And and Jamzilla's style seems to be very involved with this specific font. I believe it's called Glacian, I think is the name of the font. But it's on their website. It's in CYST. It's through all the books. It's through everything. It's on the same as like the Tomb of Valagosh and stuff too. It's the same font. And I think it's a pretty common Google font. So I found it to be able to use it for our promos, for our social media. So.
Perfect.
But anyway, so the world, the game, all has come to ruin. Castles crumble into dust as Mother Earth slowly dies. An age of wondrous monsters and weary heroes has come. An age rife with adventure and peril. Vibes, love it, great. That's pretty much the world. That's pretty much it. So, do you want to create a character as we go? Because it's pretty much this entire zine.
Absolutely. There's no way we're going out through this without creating a character.
Yeah. So the base zine of core, you basically create a character and then you create a world and then you play in it. And then a lot of the other CYST stuff is creatures, situations, or adventures specific to areas. And then one of the things that come out recently, which remind me to show at the end, talking about Dunbar. I'll show is interesting too. So how to play. One player is narrator. Really, you just need two players. So one player is narrator. They describe to the other player the happenings of the crumbling world and the glorious things within it. The other players each control an adventurer. That's you. You're an adventurer.
I'm an adventurer.
That's you. Whose bold actions set them aside from the other creatures of the world. Players must decide whether their adventurer is born of meat, magic, or love, as well as any other important details of their life. Whenever an adventurer does something difficult, their player flips a coin and hopes for heads. If an adventurer is born to do this task, the coin may be flipped again. That's pretty much it for the mechanics.
That's pretty much it. That's it.
That's it. Like this is definitely God, when I was brushing my teeth, I was thinking of a great way to say what I wanted to say, and it's completely eluding me now. But this is just a great way to look at like a hyper ultralight game, in that there's no monster stats, there's no numbers at all. That's it. Like this is even lighter than 9 Lives of Valhalla.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, at least there's dice mechanic in that one.
God,
so going into
Google sucks. So that's good.
We'll just roll it, bring it up and do a D2. Just call one head. The normal flipper. So adventurers and argonauts, right? So create your adventurer any way you wish. There are a list of ones on the side. There's the Wraith Rider, the Forgotten Chimera, the Unborn Gargoyle, the Paladin of the Sleeping Sun, the Prismatic Zealot, the Witch of the Wastes, the Drinker of the Brine, and the Mound of Flesh. Any of those pop out at you?
Oh, I mean, Mound of Flesh every day. Okay. No, I think Prismatic Zealot for sure. Okay. You've gazed into the thin world beyond. You wander without reason, reciting its hymns and recounting those endless vertices. Oh, what wonders truly lie beyond.
That's a dope one. Yeah, I really like the Wraith Rider is really cool too. It's torn from the thin world. So world building right off the bat. What the fuck's the thin world? Your assumption immediately goes to some kind of like spirit world. Yeah. Torn from the thin world by dire magics, you wander these twisted tracks atop your skeletal steed, forever searching for a way back to the other side. So are you then, if you are the Prismatic Zealot, are you born of meat, magic, or love?
I think I'm born of magic.
Yeah, that's my assumption too. So you are born of magic. So then why don't you roll 3d8s, and then I'll give you your sign, your nature, and your god. Well, 68s basically.
Okay. The first one is a 2.
So you got your mystic. Fuck. Mystic. All right. Well, that works.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then I rolled for nature a 4, which is spiteful. For garb, 2 armor. For feature 1, 2 again ancient. For feature 2 glow, 8 is glowing. And tool, I rolled a 6 for axe. So I am a spiteful armored mystic who is incredibly old, that glows and wields an axe.
Dope.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like a Prismatic Zealot to me.
Absolutely. I've seen the truth of the prisms.
Mm-hmm. Next, we roll on places and things. This is a crumbling wonder lurks just beyond the horizon. Roll 4 8-sided dice and venture forth. So.
Okay. So 4 8-sided dice. I rolled a 3. So locations.
Right,
go for it. Yeah, you read it.
We'll say so it's locations, weather, encounters, and treasures. So you rolled a 3 on location, so you have a wretched, stinking mire. Dope.
Then for weather, I rolled an 8.
That means the skies look down with eyes of fire. Very Warplandy. Yeah.
Encounters, 1.
Starvation afflicts the party. That's you're starving, buddy.
And then treasures is 5.
A fruit, enchanted and afraid.
And afraid.
Yeah, you got that. You got that. I was gonna make a One Piece reference, but I've never watched it. So.
Oh really? Any of it? I've only seen like 25 episodes, but.
No. But don't they eat fruit? Aren't they fruit people?
There is a fruit that does give them powers. It's very rare.
They got fruits. So
you're right. Yeah, I don't know if those fruits feel fear though. So
I mean, maybe it's a fraidy fruit.
Yeah, it might. I don't know.
So your adventure. So to start your adventure, you on the horizon, you saw a wretched, stinking mire, and when you look up, the skies look down on you with fire. You are currently starving, and seeking an enchanted and afraid fruit. That is the adventure.
I feel like there is like in this mire, there is like a tree that bears enchanted like living fruit, and as you're traveling through, like it's like that bleak, ultra hot sun just beating down on you, like fire staring down on you from the sky, you know?
Yeah. And I
really
think
leaves it very open to interpretation.
Yeah, well, I think the fruit enchanted and afraid, when I got there with you, if I was GMing, would definitely be fruit as in like a person hanging from the tree. Like that allegory, and that if that's the fruit you choose to eat, they are afraid. And you decide what you do with the fruit, quote unquote, when you find it. That's interesting. So creatures and cretins. Also the page before the Adventures and Argonauts page is just a blue kind of wavy background. This one does have the places and things, has, you know, kind of like a hillside, cliffside situation. The creatures and cretins has a great one that looks very like fallen angels looking at like a throne kind of situation.
It's like classic biblical fiction fanfic art, you know.
Mm-hmm. There's like snakes off to the bottom right, and the background in this is great. It's a yellow green. It's a very putrid color. Looks great. And the creatures and cretins is a bright pink on it. Like, I love this one. This one pops like crazy. So all right, so be they freak, friend, or otherwise, roll 4 8-sided dice and see. So this is NPCs in general, whether they're good guys or bad guys. So why don't you hit me with just a D8 at a time. We'll do creature first.
So what is the creature? Is going to be a 7.
So you got a lumbering troll. Still don't know whether it's good guy or bad guy. And then they're mean. Their general vibe, what they are.
6.
Ooh, they're a curious lumbering troll. So still could be an NPC. That's cool. What is your proclivity? Yeah.
8.
Scrawling secrets on a spoiled scroll.
And then the final one was trappings is a 1.
Ooh, a well-worn leather armor and a square sword. So that's a very interesting. You have a curious lumbering troll and well-worn leather armor with a square sword that loves to scrawl secrets on a spoiled scroll.
Huh. What an interesting creature to come across.
There's some really... all of these are fantastic. So we're rolling D8s, which means you're getting what, like... a fraction of what the possibilities are here, but a weary
I think I rolled on this one earlier, and I got like the wary int that was like attempting to regain their bearings. Nice. And I was like, that's very Treebeard, you know, like I'm not sure where I am anymore.
They always Jamzilla loves to put 2 Z's for wizard too, which I've noticed through everything. So wizards are WIZZARD. And we're already almost done with the zine. That's how small the original one is. This is Caverns and Catacombs. This is another one. So there's obviously like a photograph of like kind of like a rockiness with like more rocks in the background, but it's very purple to kind of like magenta vibe. But cut out are these black and white drawings, or even like these like hatch drawings of there's like a knight with a damsel, a goblin creature coming towards him with a sword, one coming up over the hill, and then some creature in the background with like, you know, long
that is
face.
Horrific beyond explanation.
Coming up over the edge, which is fantastic. So this says caverns and catacombs, in the deepest, darkest chasms of the earth, treasures and dangers are dealt most freely. So it's 4d8 for denizens, curiosities, happenings, and treasures.
For denizens, I got a chittering spider, terrifying.
Ooh.
Curiosities, a slain adventurer. For happenings, I got a wizard duel. And then for treasures, a beautiful harp.
That's cool. There's a lot you can do with that, especially I would separate that into a couple of different things, you know.
Absolutely. These are like encounters you're going to have as you're in this
Yeah.
depths area.
I would say those separating two different things. If it is a slain adventurer and chittering spiders, I would have the slain adventurer in the web of a chittering spider. And then the wizard duel, they would be dueling over the beautiful harp. You know,
or the chittering spider. Maybe they both want it.
Yeah, I mean that's true as well. That's true as well. Then we got there's literally two pages left, and that's the entire scene. The next one, the next one is monsters and magics. So it's 3 8-sided dice to create an artifact, or 4 for a monster. So why don't you do the 3 first, and we'll do the artifact, its power source, and its aura, and then we'll do the monster second.
Yeah. So for the artifact, I rolled a 6 for an amulet. The power source is a 5 for the stars, and its aura is radiant, which is perfect. I have a radiant star-powered magic amulet.
Dope.
Amazing.
That's what's up. And then what about your visage, physique, and feature 1 and feature 2 for your monster?
So my visage is feminine. Physique is molluscan, like a mollusk.
Molluscan? Yeah, I assume it's like a mollusk. Yeah.
Feature 1 is stinking, and feature 2 is winged. So a winged feminine mollusk creature. Awful. Terrible. Once again, horrible beyond belief.
Oh, that sounds so. Like I would have like the thing open up, and it would almost be like a mermaid if it was like top woman, bottom mollusk. And it just like opens it up.
Every moment of this, I resent having to live through.
And there's like little wings on it. Well, you know, mollusks and like clams and stuff have little things to flop around with too. So that's cool. That's cool. That's a good one.
Still going great for me over here.
Yep. And then the last page is heroes and happenings. So with 3 8-sided dice, populate your crumbling world with 1,000 myths and legends. So this is heroes, oddities, and happenings. So roll 3d8 and we'll go through these.
I almost rolled 3 8s, but I didn't. Cool. So for heroes, I rolled an 8. An empty suit of silver mail lies here as though slain. Huh.
Nice.
Oddities, another 8. A vapor fills the area and then is gone. Something has changed, though you can't quite place it. And then happenings is a 7. Nameless things have burrowed up from the deepest pit of the earth, talking in secret and shadowy tongues. There's definitely like tables that I would mix and match for areas, you know, to like build a bunch of, there's a ton of stuff here.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, it's not like you would roll all of these in a row. Like you make your adventurer and then as you go through places, you would roll when you needed to. So if you were deciding that like starting off, I might do the places and things, but then like, you know, I might roll out a couple of times to go overland, but if it's decided you go underground, that's when you'd hit the caverns and catacombs. I mean, I might roll the heroes and happenings kind of right at the start too, just to have like some adventure hook kind of situations to start, you know, but
almost like creating like a little like word bank list for you to pull from for and that's it. That's it for the first one.
Yeah, the last one, it even says populate your crumbling world with myths and legends. So like that's why it's just a great seed, you know, venture seed thing. So yeah, so that's the core zine, that's CYST. And this one is clearly, you know, it's chopped up and put together, but the words are still clearly put on in like a program or something, right? When we look at some of the other ones, well, let's look at Tombs of Agalosh first. Well, this is a 2023 one. This is a later one. Yeah, let's go through Agalosh because actually the Tombs of Agalosh is extremely reminiscent of CYST, in that the layout for it is incredibly similar. So if you look at, you know, like the front cover I'm showing here, Tombs of Agalosh, the sky and stuff reminds me very much like the yellow on the front, everything. Let me open up Tombs of Agalosh real quick. I know I downloaded it. Here we go. We'll just do a flip through
I'm still
this.
having like bad dreams of the half mollusk woman. So,
Hey, listen, you do what you got to do. In the context of the mollusk woman. So this is interesting. In the spreads version, they have the
yeah, I know this.
Covers. It's the one's on the wrong side, but I mean it makes sense because it's the front. It's just interesting. So this side here on the right would actually be on the left side. So this is Tombs of Agalosh, an adventure location for CYST. The sacred seal has come undone. The tombs cry out again. For an age and beyond, the wizards of Agalosh have languished in their ancient halls. Trapped there by the gods, they dared dethrone, fearful of phantoms and breathless things. The wizards fled deeper and deeper into their dungeon tombs, hoarding in pits their spells and things of gold. So, I opened this one where it doesn't. I'm fine with that. So this one is interesting in that it's laid out very similarly than as the CYST one, which is very different than some of the other ones we see. But you start with some vibes. I love the skies. You know what this reminds me of? You know, I know I said it just a second ago as far as like a reference to Warpland.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it reminds me, you know, that like the page in Warpland. My light got weird here, so let me auto adjust a little bit of brightness back on my face. So the sky page in Warpland, this looks to me as if those skies are the sky, because you actually get to see the setting with the sky above you. That's one thing I love about this.
I think I would hold that in the description of playing this game as well. Like I'd be like, yeah, the sky is fucking insane. I'd show them this and be like, yeah, it's at all times a living hue of pinks and purples or whatever.
It's dope.
It is dope. I do agree.
A shriek is heard across a crumbling world. The wizards of Agalosh have outlived the seal that kept them trapped in their tombs, now promise their magics to those that free them. So the wizards of Agalosh are calling out to be freed now that their seal is unsealed. But so this, one of the things is these are completely different character backgrounds. So driven by dreams, veins of power, adventurers draw nearer to the tombs, ready to thwart the fiends that lurk in the shadow and to free the wizards who hide below. So any of these speak out to you? We got the reticent jeweler, the moon-kissed warden.
Oh, it's the crumbling astropath.
The crumbling astropath? What's that one say?
Crumbling astropath. You've gazed out unto the distant suns, etched their paths upon your skin. Your blood maps have led you here to the place where all stars end.
That one's dope. Yeah. Pariah's cool. The smoking cog fiend. I'm not going to use that one at the table because that's not what people will say for the entire session. I'll tell you that right now.
Not. Yeah. There's no way they're saying cog.
Yeah. The gargling wretch is a bit of a touchy one too. Yeah, and the spell-touched squire. So great. The vibes, the writing is, for how minimal all of this is, the writing has to pop, and it does like crazy. That's what I love about this.
Really good job.
There's a page for wizards and wonders. So there's creatures and treasures, but there's also incantations and features. And this is the spell-lit tombs and the cobbles heaped with gold. Spirits and specters that you can run across. Miserable creatures that can be found. These are just a straight D8. So these are straight up just from the wizard's acrid pots of slime. 1,000 creatures come. So these are really great. Like roll a D8 and we'll kind of give a reference for this. I just clicked out of my dice roller. It's fine. It's right here again. I rolled a 4. An ornate plinth has lost its gargoyle. A wasted chimera has it, desperately trying to suck the ichor from its stone shell. That's kind of stuff that comes up into this. Yeah. And then one thing I love is this: the jewel of Agalosh, mumbling in the deepest bowels of Mother Earth, the wizard's greatest gifts lies dormant, forged ages ago by the long dead Starkin. What magics could it hold? So there's actually like some of these are lists of characters, like Murloc, the wisest wizard. There's a reference to some of the other ones. Is this one that references? No, there's references to the other ones that come up in other things. But anyway, so very similar in my mind to CYST. The colors, I think, are even like more bright in this one, but the layout is incredibly similar. But when we go to something like let's open up like even like Pangram is a good one to look at. So this is a completely different kind of vibe and style. This one is definitely looks more like they chopped it up and then scanned the pages.
Oh yeah. It's a much. I haven't gone through this one at all. So me and the podcast scene at the same time. Much different style though.
Right? It's
and
very
yet still belongs, you know?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So terror and ecstasy, falling from the squalid womb, the creatures meet the earth. The talisman is stitched betwixt its chiseled teeth. At last, a pangram is born. So this is a creature that you could battle. But that's like there's the how to play section. It has a couple of like a D8 table, and that's pretty much it. Like it's a very small, just vibey like location bad guy, and that's pretty much it. But you know, as we said, it's much more chopped together, pieced together. It's not text. It's clearly like cut out of magazine, you know, serial killer letter style. Looks fantastic. The last one we really are gonna, well, let's flip through two real quick. There's the Dungeons of Dunbar, which is a much newer one. This keeps that cut style, in that it's, you know, pages that are cut up into pieces, as opposed to like you can actually see where the pieces are glued onto the background behind it. And I don't know which one I like better. I think both together work really well between like the CYST and this more collage style.
I don't know that I like one better than the other. I think they both like. I like the regular CYST because it's so clean looking, but I also like this because it's just so like DIY art punk stuff. I
will say that it's clear that they wrote what they wanted to write, printed it out, cut it up, and then put it on here.
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine 1,000%. I like the style. But I can tell you right now, this had to take much longer. I mean, when you look at the page and you have like your D8 table that you like literally write, print out, cut into strips, and then glue back onto paper. It's dope. And then I said one, but I meant two. There's one thing where they do a completely different style. Let's look at something like is this wreathed? So they do sometimes this kind of style where it's actually like a whole page. This is when you download it, it's called the Watching Woods, but it's wreathed on their itch page.
Right.
It's just a whole page. So as opposed to that style, so for those in podcast line that can't see, some of them are just like whole pages that are put out, you know. And when we look at something like Dungeon here, that's one. This is how to play, so it gives you the rules for the game. There's a dungeon entrance, there's the dungeon lord, and then there's the dungeon rooms, and you roll on denizens, curiosities, happenings, and treasures. So it's more like an individual location, but it's written not in zine style, it's written in like page style. So that's the other kind of thing that you can see. The last one I really want to look at a lot that I want to touch on was Lords of Bile Keep. This is one that I believe was a Kickstarter. I know it was crowdfunded. I don't know how many other projects of theirs was crowdfunded, but this is pretty much the biggest one that they've done.
I would say it's by far the longest.
Yeah, and there's actually
it's not very long, but
so there's actually two different versions of this that came out as well. I believe the first one, if you look at, for those I can see here, there is actually kind of like a mini perfect bound. It actually has like creasing in the sides. It's got like a little bit of an edge. And then they basically were like not happy, I guess, with how it turned out or a specific type of the layout. So they sent out a whole nother one that's more zine style and changed the layout completely. So when you look at, you know, one compared to the other, the layout and style is different. So that's the first two pages in that one. But in this one, this is the first two pages. So for those that can't see, it's different. So they just tweaked the layout, combined some pages, took out some of the pages that were just spreads of words, and did that. But this is Biokeep. So it's a much darker vibe than everything else. It's very, I mean, it's the Lords of Bile Keep, if you can think of that. The champions in this one are like Bare-Fingered Beggar, Nascent Things, Disgusted Miser, Hobgoblin, Nameless Stranger, Vengeful Warden. So it's definitely like a deeper, darker setting. Who you can meet along the road, the Wicked Witch, the Wasted Weird Thing. I also think that this is more of a structured kind of like campaign-ish thing that you can do.
It's this take on a campaign.
Yeah, so it actually takes you through the Biolands, meeting various different things: the Wrath of the Gargoyle, the Dying Lord of Pus, the Biokeep Besieged, and the various things you can do, the Slime Slake Dungeons, the Gutters Below, the Deepest Bowels of the Earth, you know, and then there's like an appendix in the back. So it is the longest. I think, I mean, Dog Shit is really, really long too. But it's one of the longest, and I think one of the more in-depth CYST pieces. So if you're going to get CYST and also want something to go with it, I mean, get all of it, but definitely get Lords of Biokeep. So last, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but last thing we're going to look at, because it came out recently as far as I know, is this. I don't know if you've seen this. This is the Crumbling World map.
Oh, I saw the no, I haven't seen it. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I love that so I have it physically here, the Crumbling World map. All of the locations in the various things, talking about the Great Immortal Ing, Plight of the Necromancer, Dungeons of Dunbar, all of those things, they all take place in this map. So they actually made a collage style map.
Crazy map.
Right?
It's like the super collage style. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go for it.
Oh, no, yeah, like you were saying, the collage style. But like if you look at some of the things we talked about, the Bile Keep is the bottom right, and there's the Biolands right next to it. But as you read through all of these, you'll be like, oh, that happened here. That's where Murloc is. This is where the Woodenlands is. Like, it's really dope that they're like, okay, all of these are in the Crumbling World, so let me put the Crumbling World out there.
Wow, very cool. I love this. I'm so cool? Like I love this map so much.
Yeah. It's definitely it's exactly the kind of map that I would expect to come from the people that made CYST.
Yeah.
So very cool. Again, for those that are just listening, this is when you might want to go watch, or definitely go check out the itch page. We'll drop all the links and everything. We're still going to do like a review of this. I know that this is a very short episode where we did more of like, you know, kind of showing off than anything, but we're definitely still going to do a review of this because we want to do scores on everything. So why don't we hop over to that?
No.
No. Oh, all right. Let's go back to the. All right, we're here. We're back at the. Okay. One thing I do want to say too, though, is I love that when I get packages from James, they always do art on them, which is super cool. Like this is, cool. I don't know, my camera is just not having a good day. I don't think. Maybe you're too bright. That could be it. So this one is like a troll guy. It says thank you on it. This one is like a little goblin guy. It says thank you on it. And then I really love this one. It's a character talking to like a necromancer, and it says, "Thank you, bold adventurers, but alas, my book of spells is gone." So really cool.
Very cool.
On the packages that all come from overseas. So and this, it's so inexpensive. Like when you order these zines from the itch page when they're available,
crazy cheap.
Yeah, it's like $5 for the zine, $5 for shipping. I'm like, yeah, I'll do all of them.
Sorry, not cheap, affordable. But I also would say I would pay substantially more for these. So
shocked at how inexpensive they are. But we're gonna do a zine style review real quick, and then talk about where you can get some of these zines. This is a little bit more of a casual episode, so we'll just cruise through this. So for those
today, you know,
yeah, we
post holiday, and we're come back, you know.
Yeah. Well, for those that celebrate, you know, Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah.
And for those that do the other one, think about not doing that. So for zines, we do it a little bit different than books. Books we give 5 metrics to. For zines, we give 3, because it's not really fair to compare something like this to something like the 𝗖𝗬𝗦𝗧 with like 1,000 pages, well, like 300 pages. But we do visuals, rule set, and vibes. Visuals are together, layout, art, everything visually. How do we like it? Out of 10. Rule set is the rules. Not only do we like the rule set, is it, you know, because a game can have one rule and we could give it a fucking 10. And then vibes are a mix of everything. It's kind of like how bad we want to play the game once it's shut, you know, once we read through it and everything. So that's what I go through: visuals, rule set, and vibes. So visually, what are your thoughts?
Oh, visually, it's so substantial. You know, like I love the visuals. I like the two different really styles that we're talking about. The more like text over this like backdrop, and then the other version, which is almost like that, text pasted over. I think very highly of the visuals. I mean, I think it's clear like a very visual project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so. I think especially if art is their focus in school, which I feel like I remember them saying that, and I feel kind of like I didn't get a chance to listen to the interview again, but you should definitely check that out. They did do an interview on the Lost Bay podcast from friend of the show Eco, so definitely go check them out on the Lost Bay and listen to that. The collage style art is fantastic. When you look at like the crumbling world map, I mean, that in and of itself individually is a fantastic piece. Yeah. I mean, you know, when you talk to people about people that have these zines, a bunch of people say like these are some of their favorite zines in their collection, especially the ones that are chopped together in pieces and you can visually see that it's like glued together in photo scan. So what are your thoughts on visuals?
I don't know, I'm pretty high up there. What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm pretty high up there too. So
how high are you? How are you, bro?
I'm thinking like 9 at least, you know.
I'm feeling a good 9 on this one.
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. I mean, it's not just that they look awesome. The thought process behind, I think, collaging is really interesting, because I can't imagine how many pages you flip through to find that piece that you really need.
Oh, dude.
You know?
Yeah. It's more of like building a collection of like themed, you know what I mean? And then putting it together. But yeah, I mean, yeah, crazy. Probably took forever.
Yeah. And then, you know, just the pieces where it's like that black and white kind of design with it, and then suddenly you get that pink sky behind it. I mean, you know, it's a lot more than putting a piece on top of the other piece, and it's just gorgeous. Yeah. They're just gorgeous all around. So rule set, I mean, we this is probably the least we've ever talked about a rule set, because we literally just read it and kept going. I
mean, there's not really much rules here, right? You flip a coin. If it's something your character was born to do, you flip the coin twice.
Yeah. I would say my only I like that. This is like as I was trying to say before, this is like a treatise in like ultralight gaming, right? There are no rules, and I think there's a lot of people that really love this, and I think there's a lot of people that would read it, think it's pretty, and never touch it again, because there's not a lot there. I mean, even when we did 9 Lives of Valhalla, there's at least like, you know how many times you have to hit the thing to kill it? It's really like once. Yes. This, you don't even know that realistically. I mean, what's the difference between a lumbering troll and the pangram that gets its entire own zine, you know? I would think that the only thing about the rule set that I think I would want is like even just like nothing has HP and stuff. So I get that. I would think though that like, what does defeating something look like comparatively? Like if it's like a crab on the road, or if it's like the evil warlord or necromancer that's destroying everything, how does one defeat one versus the other? Is it
just flipping heads once, you know?
Yeah. So that's my only thing with the rule set, is I love that it's super light. I love that it's do what you want with it. But I almost want just like the tiniest bit more, and it doesn't need to be numbers. It's almost more just like maybe in context that like would defeating the necromancer be multiple rolls, in that like there's a storytelling part to it where it's like you defeat it once, you did it once, you broke their wand, you do it twice, you shatter their scrolls, you know what I mean, kind of thing. It just any context, I think, is the only knock I have on something that's this light. But I'll tell you what, I would rather have the question about something this light than read a 400-page book of rules.
Oh, I mean, if you know me, so I'm like, yeah, me too. And I'll just wing it. I'll make up a rule. I'll gamify boss fights or regular fights and just be like, it's not so much like you hitting it and dying. It's like there's a sequence of events to play through. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree with you. I would just make it up. But much like some of the other things we said before, where it's like, clearly we know enough about games, but we can just make it up, keep going, and not even pause. A lot of people can't. So to me, that is just, like I said, not necessarily a knock, but it is a question.
So what do you think?
I mean, I do really enjoy this, but do I think that something like 9 Lives of Valhalla did ultralight cleaner? Yes, I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I left less questions to be answered.
Yeah.
You know?
And what did we give that for rules? Was that the 9 for that too? Was 9?
Yeah, that was pretty. It's the perfect. It's got one fucking rule. Yeah, something like that. Pretty high.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is like a strong 7 to light 8 for me. You know, I mean, I'm not blown away by the coin toss. I think it's totally fine, and I really like how minimal it is, and I'm definitely gonna play this with my new table that I'm getting started, just to go through it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Because you know what we looked at before that reminds me of this. We've looked at a coin toss game before.
Yeah, it was Prol.
Yeah. So that's when I compare like a coin toss game to a coin toss game. I think Prol is cleaner, and I think it takes about the same amount of space. That's my thought in my head is like, when I look at,
you're right.
Yeah, when I look at one. So yeah, I'd probably go with the 7 for this. I think it's really good
for this.
Yeah, I think it's really solid. The fact that literally that's all it is just flip a coin, and sometimes you'll have advantage to flip a coin twice. That's crazy to me that you can. I think it's one of those things where the more you add to this, the more you'd fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know,
I think there's a sweet spot. You know,
this is a lesson in editing, and I don't mean like line editing. I mean in like editing your thoughts and editing your ingredients and editing your pieces and stuff. So I think 7 is solid for this. I really enjoy it, and I think the context of how you use it within the scope of the game is what really makes it really, really good. Vibes.
super vibey.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm a strong 8 or a light, I think I'm a strong 8 to light 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9 on this hard. Like, I think if you did you actually get a chance to sit down and read Lords of Wildkeep? Like,
no, that one I did not read. I read Plight of the Necromancer, and that one was pretty cool. Oh,
Plight of the Necromancer is great, but it's also only like 4 pages.
Yeah,
you know, it's very, very small. When you get a chance to read through Lords of Wildkeep, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, easy 9. That one, the one that's like longer. Oh, also Dog Shit is also really, really long. It's fantastic too, and it's a little bit longer. Okay, but like in context, when you go from like Sisters of Saban to Dungeons of Dunbar to Lords of Wildkeep, I mean the world building is fantastic. The tables are always great. There's a bunch of different. Like every time, a lot of them will have new character options in the beginning. Some of them don't even give you all 3, like meat, love, and magic. Sometimes you get completely different ones. And some of them, I can't remember which one it is, that completely changes it up. You don't even start with those 3. You start with 3 completely different ones. And I can't remember which one it was. Was it Dog Shit where you start with 3 completely different ones? I don't remember. It's I don't know. I think vibe-wise, to me, it's through the roof. I think this is just the perfect kind of storytelling that can be told without sitting down and writing a story. And I love that through the context of all the different adventures, you eventually get to the Crumbling World map. I really, really, this is a very cool collection of zines. I now want all of them. So Yeah. Well, if you want to find all of them,
where will
I'm
I
sorry.
find them?
Dungeons of Dunbar is one of the newest ones. You play Might, Magic, or Mischief instead of Meat, Magic, and Love. So I'm curious if that's going to be a change in the overall style of play in CYST. Yeah, listen, that was my nickname in high school. But Might, Magic, or Mischief in Dungeons of Dunbar. But if you are in the States, you can check them out at Knave of Cups. Friend of the show, Knave of Cups. They recently did their November drop. You definitely want to go check it out. Every time I possibly can. Anytime they come up on itch, you can also find them directly from Jamzilla, from James Millichamp. Definitely do that. Don't forget how that works is you pay the $5 and tip an extra $5 for postage. They'll reach out to you if you screw that up. Oh, what was their total score? Man, I am low on my fucking Adderall today.
That is okay, buddy. I'm also just barely holding it together.
I'm +7, +9. This is a 25, which is super solid.
Cool. Good
for a zine, and it deserves it. I mean, some of my favorite zines in my collection. Obviously, huge fan of Jamzilla, huge fan of James Millichamp. Definitely check them out. So go check out Knave of Cups. You can find a lot of this stuff there. Otherwise, you definitely want to go check out Jamzilla's itch page. It is literally Jamzilla, JAMZILLA.itch.io. They have a great page. I haven't seen one like this before, where like the links to each individual thing is like a full page spread.
It's
so
extra
cool.
Page from the
If I ever actually put anything out on itch, I'm definitely reaching out to them and asking how the fuck they did that, because that's the best looking itch page I've ever seen. But if you go to the Knave of Cups page right now, you can get Dungeons of Dunbar, the Great Moling, the Tombs of Agalosh. You can get CYST, you can get Pangram. The only one that's out of stock right now is Lords of Biokeep, but I highly recommend getting all of the rest of them. They're really fantastic, and they're only like $6 or $8. Like, they're so inexpensive for how fucking cool these things are.
Really inexpensive, yeah.
Yeah. You just get so much from each individual one. I mean, the fact that there's 4 to 6, 8 D8 roll tables on each spread, even if it's only 6 spreads, that's so many adventures you can play in each individual one.
I mean, even if you just got these for like the inspiration of the tables, like they're so worth it for that, and the art, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, again, even if it's a game you never play, like as you just said, like as an art piece, they're stunningly beautiful. But for world building, they're great. I mean, the crumbling world is awesome, but what you just said, the basically using them as your own adventure seeds and tables, so cool. Anyway, so yeah, that has been CYST. It got a total of 25. This is an ultra light kind of like world building coin flip game. Totally worth it. Highly recommend it. It's really inexpensive and really fun to play for those people that want something where the rules don't get in the way at all, because there aren't any.
Because there's fucking no rules.
Yeah. So a couple of things coming up here this week. We have a special episode coming up. I believe is it Wednesday morning? We've already done. Yeah. We've done not one, but 2 iWizard unboxings, where you can see a lot of these boxes here, a lot of these. I got 3 of them here, 4 of them here, got all of OSE box here. These are all from Laws the iWizard. So the morning of the 29th, we will be doing a 3rd unboxing of iWizard stuff, because I can't stop spending money on boxes, and I got too many zines.
Very cool.
So we'll be doing that, and then I don't know do we have something? I have something marked for Friday and for Sunday. I have no idea what it is. Do you know what it is?
Let's see, nothing marked for. Yeah, I don't have anything on my. You have something marked for Friday and Sunday?
I guess maybe we moved it, because I have nothing marked at all for Friday or Sunday either.
Huh. Okay, well, listen, we'll post on social media when we know what we're doing.
Man, yeah, this was This was a great one. This was super clean, super nice. This is a great one. So, listen, you can find all of our stuff at our link tree at the Weekly Scroll. As I said, you can find all of Jamzilla stuff on their itch page at jamzilla.h.io and find all their stuff physically right now at Knave of Cups. Definitely check out all the rest of the stuff at Knave of Cups. Great people, great shop. Give them your money. They deserve it. That's it. That's our episode. You guys have a wonderful night. Hunter, I'll see you later, and we'll figure out what the fuck we're doing next time. Bye.
Bye.